Hello everyone, Mama Mita here, and today I want to talk to you about something that's very dear to my heart that I really enjoy so much. Now, 7 years ago, we moved here to our spot. Now, we are located in a very industrial area. We're surrounded by hot houses, and
I don't know, man.
cars that are broke down and stuff. So basically, we live in a junkyard. Hey, but it saves a lot of money. We moved here 7 years ago from our care home that we had, that we took care of our residents for, for like 14, 15 years that we were there. And so when I lost my hearing, and it was very difficult for me to talk on the phone, I knew that I had to give up my license. So I gave up my license. We sold our home. We found places for our guys, and we moved here. And we had to buy an RV. So we bought an RV. We bought a 28-foot Class C. And we lived in it for maybe a year and a half. We liked it, but I felt like it was a little small for us and that we really needed a little bit of extra space. And we did have the K-liner, a shipping container that sat next to the RV, so we could put stuff in it and pull stuff out as we needed. So that worked for us pretty good. But it just felt like we need a little bit more space, So, we're two big people, and try passing through the hallway with two big bellies. It doesn't work. You kind of have to tell the other person, I'm getting ready to go to the bathroom, or I'm getting ready to go to the bedroom, because if they're coming out, you got to move to the side because there's just no room with our big bellies. Anyway, so then we sold it and we went to a Montana fifth wheel. And so we stayed there. We were very content and everything until 2020 when a big windstorm and rainstorm came through and destroyed it. Just messed it up really bad. There was water all in it and it was no good. The floors got all wet, and so we had to let it go. We were really sad because it was a great RV, really good RV. And so then we got this retreat. Oh boy.
Yeah, boy.
Retreat has a lot of windows in it, which is good because you're always happy because you got so much sunshine coming in here. But you have to put up some barriers, in those windows during the winter, and we still get those heavy winds and heavy rain. But one thing I want to talk to you today about is a cinder block garden. So when we moved here, I wanted to have something to do, like a little hobby, that I could enjoy and it would benefit us. And so I started up with a small cinder block garden. Now I'm going to show you this garden and tell you a little bit about it and the things that I planted it and the things that, that I maybe want to do in the future to maybe make this thing work for us even more, because beets are very expensive. So that's one of the things that I have planted in here. And when I lived when we lived at the other home, we had a garden. We had a nice garden, but I could never seem to get the beets to grow bottoms to them. They grew beautiful tops, but they never would grow the bottoms. Well, coming here, I don't know, something changed because now I got these beets that are just huge. It's like, wow. Do you know how much money it costs for one beet at a co-op or grocery store? They're very expensive. We like beets. Beets are very good for you. They're very good for your blood. They just make you strong. They're just loaded with lots of iron. So they're a great thing to eat. Anyway, so let me show you my garden. Okay, so here is our cinder block garden. Now this is our main cinder block garden. We have other ones around here also, but they're smaller. And one of them is a one for the rosemaries, because I use a lot of rosemaries. And then I have one that's for mostly herbs, and I like that one because I use that a lot. I make a lot of herbs, I dry them, I use them in the cooking and stuff. So those two gardens are very important for me. This one here is my main one. This one is a mass producer. This thing can really put some stuff out. Now, I have not even done anything to this thing. Now, it is ready to be cleaned out and get ready for for it to grow and stuff. But I want you to look at what I have left over. Look at that. Let me see if I can get a little closer. There's parsley. Look at all those green onions there. That's already starting up, you know. But in this case here, what I'll do is I'll probably just pull that today and use the leaves for something. There you go. There's more parsley and more green onions. And there's a whole bunch of green onions. So I think what I'm going to do with these, I'm just going to kind of leave them and clean them up a little bit. And then I'm just going to use them, keep using them because they're really good. I used some yesterday and there's nothing wrong with them. Now, when you go to the back of this, I have beets and they're doing pretty good. Now, I could actually take those beet tops right there and use them. But I think what I'll do is I'll just leave them and let them grow some beet, you know, bottoms and beets and stuff. But now, okay, so let me show you how this works. So what I did is I just basically, the soil here is no good. I know that already because of all the cars that's been pulled in and out here. So what I did is because the soil at the other house that we was at was not the best. You know, it was just not the best. And so I knew that. So I went with these raised gardens. But I didn't use the cinder blocks at the care home. I used wooden boxes that we made with wood. But the thing about them was they didn't last that well. It was like the square foot garden thing that I did. And they didn't hold up as well as the cinder blocks. We are under attack here every winter with heavy rain and heavy winds. And I'm telling you right now, you have to be prepared for this. So the cinder blocks, I think, works the best for me. I mean, I can use the little portable flower pots and stuff, you know, the ones that you know, up here in the front. Let me show you those there. I can use those. But even some of those have to be replaced because they can't handle the snow and the wind and the cold weather. It gets really cold here. So you can see how I put that together? Okay. So this one, if I count these blocks, this is a mess back here. This is the kind of stuff that goes on in the winter. I got to get back here and clean all of that. Look at all of that, how it just threw everything in this corner. It'd take me about maybe 30 minutes to clean all that up, but it needs to be cleaned up. And I usually just hang my tools right here so I don't have to go and open the shipping container and get them out. I just keep them right there so they're handy for me. Okay, so, and then I keep the screens over it so the cats can't get in there because they don't want to mess with the cinder blocks. They don't like the cinder blocks, but they would love to get in there and they ain't going to go in there. There's no way. They're going to be out of there. So, I'm counting, and if I count how many cinder blocks going this way, coming towards me, I'm going to be 1, 2, 3, 3 in that little half one right here. This is a half one. So you want to just put them like that, just stack them. This is 3 stacks high. Now, you've got a little investment here. I know that these cinder blocks are not cheap. They're probably, I haven't checked them lately. When I bought these, they were $1. But this is like, you know, a long time ago. But now they're probably, like, I don't know, like maybe $1.40 probably. I haven't checked them lately. But you have a good investment here because what's going to happen is if for some reason we decide someday we want to leave the repo lot and move somewhere else, I got a choice that I can either leave this here or I can take it with me. I would just undo the cinder blocks and take them, put my cinder blocks wherever I was at, and then add my dirt to it. That's all I have to do. So this is a big investment. It's not going to break and freeze up. Sometimes with the wind, it does move the blocks a little bit, maybe like a ½ an inch. And so then I have to go and put them back in place. But usually they pretty much stay in place pretty good. Okay, so in these little ones here, the small ones, I do plant stuff in them. I don't waste no space. Look at that, see? Look at all those onions there. Look at all that. Then I got this here too. I'll take these probably this week and eat these because these things are really tasty in a salad. Okay, so you got all of those little holes. If you're going down there and you follow it down, you've got all of those holes that you can put stuff in. I have put radishes in there. I have put onions in there, parsley in there, chives in there, all the little smaller things like that. Now, I don't think you'd want to put a cabbage, but, you know, or, you know, something that grows kind of big. Like you wouldn't want to put a cantaloupe and a watermelon. I don't think so. I wouldn't do that one. I haven't tried growing those yet because I'm kind of allergic to watermelons and cantaloupe because they sit on the ground. Because they sit on the ground, they have a high contents of mold. And so for me, I can't do that because I get sore throat and irritated nose. But I just plant stuff in there and come out here and water it daily. Try to water it daily. I have here this orange mint, and it's come back out, so it survived the winter. Okay, now you see how there's like a little crack there? I don't bother with that. I just leave that like that, you know? I mean, I could probably move them a little bit closer so the crack's not there, but it's not a big deal. And then sometimes what'll happen is you see how the dirt has sunk to the bottom there? Well, I have to come in here and add a little bit more dirt for that. But that's okay. But I got all of this here to clean up today. That's what I think I'll do. Now the back, I just kind of kept it like that. And then I'll get in here and clean all that up and make sure that's, and I keep that where it's walking, where I can walk around the outside of that. So there you go. See how big that is? Now I'm just telling you, I just cannot see myself not having a garden this year because this thing is just mass produced. I mean, last year it was crazy. I had boxes and boxes of produce. I gave stuff away to my family. I gave stuff to the homeless kitchen that they cook at, and it just worked for me great. I mean, this is just a great little garden. It's quick and it's easy. And if you just go with the seeds, that's even cheaper. If you don't go with the seeds and you go with, the planting the little flowers and stuff, or the little small, like maybe a cabbage, whatever, you're gonna pay a little bit more money. In my case, I try to do that. Sometimes it doesn't work for me because, it's too cold out here and they really should be, started indoor. But I absolutely have no room in the RV for something like that. I mean, that's not gonna work for me. But anyway, guys, I hope you have enjoyed this video. I just wanted to let you know.
Am I really enjoying this right now?
That's what I do. And this is my #1 cinder block garden here. And I will have other videos coming along that will show you the other ones and how we do. And believe me, this saves a lot of money. You have a lot of stuff coming out of here. Beets are very, very expensive. And this thing last year had huge beets in it. And we ate beets and ate beets. And when we was at the care home, one year I planted potatoes. I planted 3 different types of potatoes. Do you know that I never had to plant any more potatoes? That thing came back every year. And my residents love to go out there and dig for potatoes. It was kind of an activity for us. We all had fun doing it. The kids even got out there. My husband and I, we got out there and we all dug potatoes. And boy, we love potatoes. Oh, and we had so many green onions that we filled a wheelbarrow full. Well, in those days, I had 3 freezers, in the garage and stuff. So I just cut all those green onions up and bagged them up, and we used them. They were really good. They were really good. You can freeze green onions. You can just slice them up and put them in your freezer. And there's a lot of delicious recipes out there that you can use those green onions in. Okay, guys, if you enjoyed my video today, please give me a thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please do. Thank you so much. Bye now.